Now, before I get started, this I want to make sure that this ain't no April Fool's joke. Because April is coming. There's a lot of fools out there every day of the week, but and every month of the year. But in April, people tend to play little pranks on people, play with people's emotions, and they don't know what they're doing. So I wanted to find out if this was true, because our precious administration has been playing around with people's emotion about this Social Security thing. So one time they playing double dutch, they playing hopscotch, they playing seesaw, they in and out, playing hide and seek. You don't know what's going on. One day they telling you, oh, you ain't got to come to the office and tell us who you are. Then another day they say, you do got to bring your ass to the office. You got to come down here and tell us who you is before we can pay you your money. Now I heard that they changed their mind again. I'm confused.
You do not need to go down to the Social Security Administration office in April 2025. They changed the policy. DOJ is in charge of Social Security now. They don't really know what they're doing. They changed the policy that says you have to go down to the local Social Security office if you're filing a new claim for retirement, disability, survivor benefits, Medicare, or if you need to change your direct deposit. And then they came back a few days ago and said, no, never mind, we're going to go ahead and change it again. But a lot of people misunderstood that in thinking that in order to continue benefits, even if you're already receiving benefits for a year, 2 years, 10 years, that you need to go down to continue your benefits for after April 2025. That is 100% incorrect from day one. But the current DOJ regime and Social Security is not doing a very great job in informing people of that change.
Because they don't know what the hell they're doing. These are young boys in their early 20s, and I got a son, he's in his early 20s. He's still calling me today about what he need to do in college. These young boys don't know nothing. They go in there and they just think they're supposed to shut stuff down, and then people's just supposed to deal with it, and how are you supposed to eat? They made these changes trying to make these old people walk into those offices, get there how they can. And most people, older people, forget about they have all this paperwork they need to bring to prove they are who they are. Like God said, I am that I am. And you go up in there and you just forget all this stuff. And then the mean ass administrator gonna tell you, man, we can't help you because you were supposed to bring this and you didn't bring it. And then the lady gonna have a heart attack right there in the office and die. Yeah, I know I'm a little extra, but that's how it is. It's like you are trying to kill people. You're trying to kill people. That's what you're trying to do. Kill people.
So the new change is if you're filing a new claim, you don't have to go down if you can do everything online. But if you're filing for retirement, and retirement includes retirement benefits, spouse benefits, and surviving spouse benefits, then you will probably have to go down to your local office. But this is a daily change, so we'll probably see a change about survivor benefits. But for everybody else, you do not need to go down the Social Security Administration in April to keep your benefits. Make sure you watch my live Q&A, and if you have any questions, 3 o'clock West Coast time, 6 o'clock East Coast time. We'll see you there.
Just know, if them Social Security checks don't drop by the first, then white people gonna crash the fuck out. Do you know how many people pay into their Social Security based on the wages that they have earned throughout their life? That is our money. That is not the government's money. So I will tell you this. Once y'all start playing with white people's money for real and not just their benefits, they gonna crash the fuck out. So hear me out. Come April 1st, if them checks ain't dropped, grab your motherfucking popcorn.
Got mine ready, sis. My popcorn is ready. I'm not quite old enough to get Social Security, but they do snatch that shit out of my check. So, yeah, you right. When they don't get their coins, or when you affect their livelihood, especially when it comes to their family members and stuff, and they can't get their money, look out. We gonna see a whole news brief somewhere. Watch. Mark my words. They gonna cut the fool. See, we know how to deal with little. We could take a damn can of beans and stretch that and put some hot dogs up in there and make some toast. That's a meal for us. We know how to take little and make it much. That's how we were built to do that. A lot of these other ethnicities don't know how to do that. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying there are some who really don't like with you to messing with their money. They don't want you to do that. And yeah, she right. I'm gonna be watching the news real close now, because I know, just like how they cutting a fool at these town halls with these Republican Congress people or senator, whoever they is, they're gonna be cutting a fool if they don't get their money.
Will not personally be directly affected, but people close to me will be directly affected. And I already know. And I bet not see a motherfucking dollar come out my next check talking about some motherfucking Social Security. Do you hear me? Do you hear me loud and clear? Because that's a lot of money that come out to check every however often you get paid or whatever. They could play. But once again, it's not going to be something for black people to crash out for. Even though we will be directly affected, they already crashing out. I need y'all to see Florida turning blue, and they scared. They scared. Pennsylvania didn't turn blue. Let that fucking Social Security money don't drop in them people's accounts. Because it's what? It's a 20 night, and I ain't going to hold you. A lot of people get early direct deposit, and that shit ain't in there yet. So I'm just going to tell you. Grab your popcorn. Do you hear me?
We hear you, girl. I'm grabbing it, because we both know it's true that they will not be happy. And if they didn't get an early paycheck, they're going to be pissed. They're going to be mad. They're going to be ready to fight. Because, again, they're already showing up at these town halls with the last lady I talked about, Senator Sparks in Indianapolis, talking about that this administration will not be even addressing Social Security. So now they are addressing it. It's like the Doge has done so much. Like I said, I got a young boy who don't know what he doing. He do, but, I would not put the government in his hands. I wouldn't do that. He's an engineer. He's still in college, but he's going to school to be an engineer. And I would not put my livelihood, as far as my money, into his hands. No, sir. No, ma'am.
It worked. You yelled so loud, the Social Security Administration just backed down. So remember that new policy where you have to go in person to a Social Security office to verify your identity and get your benefits? Well, yeah, that policy is over, at least for most. So here's what's going on. Last week I reported in this video that the Social Security Administration announced that they needed to cut down on Social Security fraud. And to do that, they said those who needed to verify their identity to receive Social Security benefits would no longer be able to do that over the phone.
Now, you know what they mean fraud. I think President Trump said that there was a man who was getting a check who was 150 years old. Or a man, they said a man was getting checks and he had died. The man said, I'm not dead, I'm yet alive, I'm still here. So the last I heard, that man is still trying to get retroactive payments for his Social Security and his disability, because Elon and them said that the man was dead. The man said, I ain't dead, I'm right here. I've been cashing my checks with no problem. That's what they mean by fraud. So who's committing the fraud here?
And if a beneficiary needed to change their direct deposit bank account information to receive their benefits, they would not be able to do that over the phone either. The administration said starting on March 31st, if you needed to do either of those things, you would either need to take care of it through your My Social Security online account, or you would have to physically go down to a Social Security office and do it in person. Well, just 2 days ago, the Social Security Administration said, just kidding. They announced yet another new policy, and now most Social Security beneficiaries can once again verify their identity over the phone. The announcement says any individual who applies for Social Security disability insurance, Medicare, or supplemental security income who cannot use their My Social Security online account will be able to complete their claim entirely over the phone without the need to come into an office. The administration also said instead of rolling out this policy on March 31st, this new policy would roll out on April 14th, 2 weeks later. Now, very important here, two groups of Social Security beneficiaries will still have to either physically go to a Social Security office or use their My Social Security online account. Category 1, those who need to change their banking information will have to make that change online or in person. And Category 2, those who need to prove their identity to apply for retirement, survivors, or auxiliary spouse or child benefits. those folks would either need to do that in person or online. The administration says if you have an extreme dire need situation like a terminal case or a prisoner pre-release scenario, they would not enforce this policy. Now, as I reported at the beginning of this video, it appears that this happened because of you. And because so many people got so loud and were so pissed about this policy to remove the phone verification option. The announcement from the acting commissioner of the Social Security says, we have listened to our customers, Congress advocates, and others, and we are updating our policy to provide better customer service to the country's most vulnerable populations. The anger didn't just come from you, though. It also came from the very powerful group AARP. They and you were saying this original policy would have really hurt seniors who aren't really tech savvy and can't really navigate.
Didn't I say that? I said that. You have a lot of these grandmas and grandpas who just don't know how to get on the computer. They don't know nothing about no password, no username, no verification ID. They don't know nothing. They're going to have to get their little grandson, who's 7 years old, to come over there and do it for them. And y'all know it's going to be a lot of long hold times, right? If you got to verify your bank information over the phone, especially if it changed, the hold times are going to be a mother. So your patience is going to definitely have to have her perfect work in this situation, because why did they have to do all this like so fast within the last 2 to 3 months? You got 4 years to mess us up all together, but you had to do it within the first 90 days. I still don't get that. I still don't get it.
The online portal and who aren't really mobile enough to physically be able to go down to a Social Security office, especially since the administration is reducing the number of Social Security offices and cutting staff. Social Security has given a phone number to call if you need to make one of those in-person appointments, and they have put out more information about this new policy. So if you want to read all of that, I'm going to email it out to you in tonight's Facts HQ email. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with TikTok in just a few days, so I highly suggest you sign yourself up for it. It is a great
What she mean? What's going to happen to TikTok? Oh, that's right, because we're getting close to the deadline. That's right. Remember, they had redid it. They had everybody pooping bricks because they were scared that TikTok wasn't coming back, and TikTok was gone offline for like a few hours. So I think we're getting close to the deadline of when it might be off the air for good. I don't know why they even took us through all of that anyway. Why? Keep TikTok. People are thriving. People are selling. People are millionaires. People are making money. They leave TikTok alone. I think that the y'all are looking at the wrong foreigners that's going to try to take something that's ours. Y'all looking the wrong way, and you know who I mean, what I'm talking
source,
about.
and it is the best way for you to stay connected to me.
Did you know Americans receiving SSI payments will not receive them in the month of June due to a payment system quirk? The 7.1 million Americans that receive disability, whether it be due to disability itself or financial hardship, normally expect their check at the first of the month, but not for the month of June because of a payment system quirk. But don't worry, you'll receive 2 payments in the month of May. One on May 1st and then one again on May 30th, due to the fact that June 1st falls on a weekend. This Lady Queen, Black with...
I think that was an older video. I think it is, but if y'all getting 2 checks in May, run me some of that. May is coming up soon. That's my birthday month. Run me some.
Bye.
Okay, so Elon Musk stated in a recent interview that SSA, y'all listen up, that SSA paid $71.8 billion in improper payments and waste. And also stated, because of these findings, that people that are receiving Social Security will not get less. That they're going to get a boost, that they're going to actually start receiving more on their Social Security. So, all these speculations that were going around that President Donald Trump was taking Social Security, that is so not true, y'all. If anything, it's seeming to me that he's trying to make it a lot better, okay?
Mother, I hope that you're right, because... okay. I hope that you're right, because I hope that within the next 60 to 90 days, up to 6 months, I hope that you can come on this camera in the dark like you're doing right now and give us that same story that this current administration is trying to give us more than take it away. I don't believe he's trying to take all the Social Security away. I hope he's not. I know he's trying to get rid of IRS. I know that because he don't like them. He ain't never paid them. So that's why he don't like them. Can't stand them. But I don't know, Mother. I respect you, but I don't know. I feel like you are a MAGA person. I can't believe you're still in that mind frame. But a lot of people ain't affected by it until it affects them directly. I'm not affected by directly by it, but the pain and everything that I see in other people's videos, it hurts to see it. So I hope again that within the next 6 months, lady, that you ain't going through the same stuff.
Well, remember, we've been dealing with all this press about Social Security, about going in, having to go in and verify your identity and all that. Well, you know what? I just came from Social Security, and this is what I found out. If you're already receiving Social Security, you do not have to verify your identity. But if you're trying to make a change like direct deposit or change of address and you're not doing it online, yes, you have to come in and you have to verify your identity because they need to know who you are and make sure it is you. Now, I also asked her, I said, are my payments at risk? A lot of you all know I get SSDI because I am disabled. And she was like, no, your payments are not going to be affected. So don't worry about that. You're going to still get your payments for now. And I was like, what you mean for now? She said, as far as we know, you're getting your payments. Don't worry about that. I said, okay. I also ended up going in and I said, so I asked her, I said, so I could pull everything else off the website except for my benefits query, right? The BQI. And she's like, yes. You'll have to come in here for it or you can get us to fax it to you. You can order it and you can get us to fax it to you. So those are the questions I pretty much asked. So I used my visit to help you out.
Thank you.
And you know what? If you have any thoughts, definitely put them in the comments. But I hope that it dispels all the media misinformation that they spread it across the internet and television. So,
well, thank you, sis. I'm sure because you are disabled, I don't know to what capacity, but you really didn't have to do that. You took your time to go down there. Her, like many others, went down there and found out this information again. The media will give you that fear factor information to get everybody scared and in an uproar. Then they'll be right there when them same scared people are out there ready to, handle business the way they think that is the best way to handle business. And that ain't how you do it, So thank you for doing that. But yeah, I just had to do this and find out what's really going on. It's still April Fool's is coming. So let's hope that they're not going to make a lot of fools out of us or out of them, because no matter what, it's never going to be a happy ending when it comes to that. So y'all take it easy, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.